Aloha, Lanai Tabura from the island of Lanai in Hawaii. It's one of the smaller islands in the state. I host a couple of different shows, a travel show, and of course, Cooking Hawaiian Style.
Lovely. And now, on the topic of your YouTube channel, Cooking Hawaiian Style, tell us a bit about the channel. Where did it all begin? And I see like your most popular video has over 50K views on YouTube.
Yeah. Cooking Hawaiian Style started with a really good friend of mine. He's kind of like family. His name is Frank Abraham. And he called me one day because he created a website, and the website was basically an aggregator to gather as many local Hawaiian style recipes as he could, and it just started growing tremendously. And I said, we should put a TV show together because a lot of these recipes are being lost, with the older generation moving on, not good with technology, things like that. They never wrote anything down. Hawaiians are like we're storytellers, so everything has been passed on through teaching and showing the next generation. So I thought it'd be a great idea that we put a TV show together, and here we are, 21 seasons later. And it really started off as a fun project. We didn't think it would. I never thought I would be here. It's been 12 years or so. I think we do 2 seasons a year. I didn't think it would grow to what it is today, which I am so grateful for. But again, it was just a fun project. It still is a very fun project to do. And we've been very efficient over the years in a sense that we shoot, what is it, 26 shows in 7 days. And then we re-air 26. So it's the best job in the world because I have almost a year off. And I do my travel show amongst other things. But yeah, Cooking Hawaiian Style started from a website, and just the following it just keeps growing, and I'm glad we're in your city.
Yes, it's lovely to have you here as well. And I just wanted, it was really interesting you touched on the recipes that were about to be lost. Could you talk about perhaps one of the recipes that were close to being lost that you guys probably helped to revive?
Well, when I say lost, I mean lost in a sense of as time goes on, things change, obviously. New ingredients are introduced. The next generation has become more open to elevating some of the older recipes. It happens in every culture, right? And I just wanted to capture the original recipes. So, not necessarily lost, maybe might not be a great word to use, but just carrying on the older recipes. So, we have so many different recipes because of the immigration to Hawaii and the sugar plantations. So the first immigrants come to Hawaii in 1790s are the Chinese, and they introduce us to noodles and rice. Hawaiians never ate noodles and rice. We can't really process rice that well, actually. Everything with us was about kalo and the ahupua'a, and living off the ahupua'a with kalo and fish, and taro was a big source for us. And then you Japanese come in 1805, and they introduce us to their version of rice and their sauces and teriyaki, and then you had Filipinos and Koreans. So by 1900 in Hawaii, you had almost 400,000 immigrants working on the sugar plantation. So when you have this many different type of immigration, different ethnicities, you have different spices, you have different flavors and different tastes. So between 1900 and today, you have different recipes for a loco moco, for example, which is not Hawaiian, but it's Hawaiian style. Different varieties of noodles because of Chinese, Japanese, and Filipinos. You had different varieties of strains of rice. You even had different strains of kalo that was introduced, because of New Zealand, because of Samoa, and because of Tonga. So when I use the word lost, I use it lightly. So to name some recipes, there's not really one recipe that we, so to speak, saved, but I think just the better word might be shed a spotlight on. Uh, because recipes are constantly being reinvented by the new chefs, the younger generation. But just we wanted to remind people, I guess would be a good word, that hey, this is where this came from. When you make this dish, this was the generic or basic way to make it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. It's great insight as well.
Right.
Could you perhaps, we'll just get a bit personal here. How about yourself? Where did your passion for cooking come from? Like particularly in the Hawaiian cuisine that you now pretty much is your job.
Yeah, it is. My mother raised four boys on her own, and my father left when I was 12 years old, and I was the oldest of my brothers. And my mom said, "Look, I got to go to work. You got to help with my with dinner tonight. I need you to cook dinner tonight." So, 12 years old, I started cooking. It was simple, spam and rice. And after 4 days, my brothers got sick of eating spam and rice. So my second brother started cooking, and he became a really good cook. My third brother became an amazing chef, and my fourth brother actually started baking. So we all, as we got older, started getting more competitive. We started diving, fishing, hunting, and our menus got bigger. We were lucky that our grandparents had a 1 acre garden, so they taught us how to use the vegetables to cook. And we all really just became self-taught cooks and chefs. And I say my third brother became a chef because he's the only one that actually went to culinary school. When he graduated, he started cooking for a man by the name of Steve Jobs. I don't know if that name sounds familiar to you, but he started being cooking for celebrities. And about 6 years ago, him and I did a show called The Great Food Truck Race on the Food Network, and we won season 4. At that same year, I was lucky enough to, it was actually a couple years before that, I was lucky enough to host Anthony Bourdain around Hawaii and get to cook for him at my house. And we became friends, and he started getting me other shows on the Food Network. So when you look at the Food Network, I've probably done every show. If I wasn't on it, I consulted it. And then just getting involved with CNN, with Bourdain, and doing different food outlets in the Philippines and Japan. And I just started doing it all over the world. So it was really inspired by my mother. And then Anthony Bourdain really put the gas on the fire, so to speak, to get me doing all these other things in the media field, because he really was the one that said, "Look, you need to share these stories of the history of Hawaii and the food, so other people can, understand why is it Hawaiian style food and why is it Hawaiian food." We got two different versions.
Wow, that's so cool. I know you just name dropped Steve Jobs. Everyone knows who Steve Jobs was. That's awesome. What a family. That's fantastic. Now,
Yeah,
I guess if you just look at Hawaiian cuisine, while you said Hawaiian style, how is it unique to, I guess, other Pacific cuisines?
it's a good question. You guys have what is the name with it starts with an H? You have at your luau's the hen. You cook underground. You have
Honey?
yes.
Yeah.
So similar to it's honey. How do you spell that?
Hangi we spell as
Hangi.
Hangi.
Okay, so similar to hangi, we have our luau, which is kalo, taro, that we steam, we skin, and then we pound into poi. We also eat kalo in different ways. And then we have the underground imu, which we cook our pua'a, our pig, our kalua pig. So very similar to what you guys do. That is Hawaiian food. And then Hawaiian style food is everything that came after the immigration. So the noodles, the rice, um, the beef. We Hawaiians never ate beef until the missionaries came, and the Spanish and the Portuguese introduced us to beef in the early 1800s. So Hawaiian food is very simple. It was kalo fish, some breadfruit. I believe you guys eat uala as well, sweet potato. So very simple food. It wasn't until the immigration to Hawaii it became Hawaiian style food.
What impacts has your show had on the Hawaiian community?
That's a great question. Just from when you do these types of shows, you're so busy caught up in front of the camera. The only thing you really get for feedback would be social media and people stopping you on the street. But the feedback has been incredible. Um, it's every other person on the street stopping you saying, "Hey, my grandmother used to make that," or "My tutu used to make that for lunch." The feedback in social media has always been incredible as far as, "Hey, where can I get that recipe? I saw it last night," or again, my tutukane or my grandfather used to make that for us. So that kind of feedback, it's really it's so much aloha, like not just in Hawaii anymore too. It's all over the US. The show is we've been lucky to have the show on in Dubai and Canada and Australia, and it's the feedback has been really good.
Could you speak about the challenges you faced while doing your show?
Oh, there's a lot. Where do we start? I mean, the first is funding. Obviously, today to if you haven't seen the show yet, people think it's a fake backdrop. We're filming on the beaches of Hawaii, so we're dealing with the elements. We're dealing with the sun, the rain. Is it going to be nice weather? When you shoot 26 shows in 7 days, you only have 7 days because of funding. It's not like this is a huge network show. This is a small mom and pop's operation, and I really got to commend my partners, Don and Ruben. They're really the masterminds on shooting this show. Ruben Carrillo does a lot of big movies and TV shows, and he knows about lighting and tech and knows how to work with the weather. Dawn is an amazing producer. She works on all kinds of different national and international TV shows. I'm just the host. Those guys are really the captains of the ship, and they really know how to make magic, especially with a small budget. So the challenges are you know are heavy. We never know if we're going to do another season. That's why I'm always so grateful and surprised that we're going to do another one. 21 seasons later, but it takes a team, and it's those two. Plus, we have an incredible camera crew. We have an incredible on-site chef. It takes 22 people to produce this show. It's not just the three of us. So we have a really good team, and that's something that people don't realize. You have a lot of people behind the camera that make it work.
Yeah, I've seen clips of your show, and it does look like a backdrop. If it
Yeah,
looks
green
almost too
screen.
good to be true, eh?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that just
I would love to come shoot where you guys live one day. You have so many beautiful backdrops.
Yeah, it honestly looks too good to be true. Your background, but I mean that just goes to show the amazing work of your crew. And
Yeah.
now it's expanding even more. We're going to broadcast your series on our PMN website. What does it mean to have your show? I guess I mean we're part of the same ocean, but I guess expand even more. You've said you've made it to Dubai, Canada, and now New Zealand.
Yeah, it's awesome. New Zealand, we're our you're our sister country. We have so many things in common. We come from uh, the same place, so to speak. Our cultures are parallel. They're hand in hand. It was exciting to hear that we're going to be in New Zealand. Hopefully, we get everyone to watch it. I think when people do watch it, when the Maoris watch it, you're going to see a lot of similarities to what we do, what we eat, how we talk. A lot of the language is very similar. I know we have some major ties to New Zealand. Jason Momoa, my good friend, was just there filming his new show. We do a lot of filming from different types of shows in New Zealand. I was lucky enough to be there 2 years ago in December, and I was blown away. I really love your country. Um, Again, one of our dreams is to start shooting in our sister countries, and hopefully we can get to New Zealand with this partnership.
Yes, that would be fantastic. And hey, who gets to name drop Jason Momoa as their good friend? What a flex.
Yeah,
Um,
there's also a famous two girls. I think they're sisters, and I can't. For the life of me can't remember their names. They're big chefs in your country, celebrity chefs. I did
yeah.
their show.
Oh yes, is it the Marketu sisters or
I think so. Yeah, they
I
did
think
a big cooking competition. They won. They have a restaurant now. I was on their show about 5 or 6 years ago there in New Zealand.
They're awesome. Yeah, I love their
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
I guess for anyone who's watching your series or starting to, what's your top recommendations for recipes to try?
Oh gosh, there's so many. If you've never been to Hawaii, you gotta try our Hawaiian food. The lau lau is incredible. It's the taro leaf with pork, Hawaiian salt, and fish, and we cook it underground and steam it. Kalua pig, obviously, just like the hangi, we cook underground and we prepare with Hawaiian salt. Um, yeah, any of our Hawaiian foods you should really try. Some of the other Hawaiian style foods I recommend are more Chinese and Japanese influence, but all of them are really good, very flavorful, and I like to tell people we have comfort food. A lot of
Absolutely.
comfort food.
I've never heard anybody go to Hawaii and tell me that the food was bad. So I
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
that. How do you see Hawaiian culture, Hawaiian cuisine evolving in the future?
It's growing really fast because of the internet, because of television, because of social media. We have our godfathers of Hawaiian Pacific fusion food like Alan Wong and Roy Yamaguchi. Now we have the next generation like Sheldon Simeon, America's top chef. He's from Hawaii. You have a lot of the next younger generation doing really big things on the international stage, on social media and TV. So it's going to grow. It's getting, one of the things I tell people is Hawaiian food, just like Hangi food, it doesn't look good. You can't take a picture of it and put it on Instagram and people go, oh, that looks beautiful. It tastes great, but it doesn't look good. So I think with the next generation being creative and sharing our recipes in a more pretty light, so to speak, I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And obviously, with what you guys are doing, and sharing our sister cultures with your country, that's really going to help what we're doing for sure.
What are your tips for someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and get started in, I guess, the cooking or being a chef?
It's funny because people stop me on the street and they say, "Hey, chef," and I tell people I'm not a chef. I believe that kids who are and adults who go to culinary school and get the degree get the right to be called a chef. Just like I could probably stitch someone up if they were hurt, but I'm not a doctor. Um, but I think what are the steps? I'm more on the entertainment side of things. So if you want to do something that I like to do, it's more about doing it, we say from the na'au, from doing it from the heart, doing it because you love it and you want to share your culture. We could go on Instagram and Facebook and all these platforms and just try to do it for money. But I don't think that's the formula. I think people know that we are trying to share recipes. We are trying to share our community. We get regular, normal people come on our show and cook for us. We don't just have singers and actors and celebrity chefs. It's about the community. It's about um, sharing our culture, really. So if it's if it's something that you want to do that I'm doing, I think that's what you have to do. It's about the intent. Do it with aloha, do it with love, and I think you can go a long way because people can sense that now. People can feel that, when you do it.
So true, very true.
Yeah.
And I guess we're just reaching the end of our interview, but do you have any final messages you'd like to finish off with or leave with our audience?
I love New Zealand. I hope to be there soon to do some work or share what we do here in Hawaii. Please follow our Instagram at Cooking Hawaiian Style. You can also follow me at Lanai. Um, uh, we're on every day. If I think we're on with you guys every day. Are we going to be on every day? Make sure
Yes,
you
I believe.
yes, follow our Facebook and our Instagram. We have updates for you on when the new shows come out, but we're putting out a show every week. We do have a rerun time period after season 21. We'll take a little break and have a short rerun, and then we start up again with season 22. But thank you so much for having me, and you guys are awesome for sharing the Hawaiian cuisine with everybody.